Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the event-based BPMN Gateway. I got asked about the event-based gateway in the comments a lot, that this concept is quite difficult to comprehend in comparison to the parallel gateway or the either-or gateway. So today, let's focus on the event-based gateway. So as you know, how does it look like the event-based gateway? You know, generally gateways have this route form, the event gate has a circle, and then it has like 5 corners in it. And of course, this is a process, so something has to happen before and something has to happen after. So how do we actually understand the event-based gateway? What does it mean? As you know, let's go quickly to another gateway. Like I will take a different color. Let me take red for now. So when something is coming in and you have the XOR gateway, which looks something like this, as you know already, only one path can be chosen from you. It's either this one or the other one. And also, the decision has been made instantly. So as soon as you arrive here in this gateway, let me take a marker. So as soon as you arrive here in the either-or gateway, instantly the process has to make the decision where to go. Do we go up here? Or do we go down here? Instantly. And this is actually the big difference to the event-based gateway. So let me erase this one quickly. So in the event-based gateway, what happens, so here again, there could be 2 or multiple paths, doesn't matter. When we arrive here, the first thing is usually we wait. We don't immediately do something. How is that, or when does this make sense? You could imagine, so after the event-based gateway, only events are allowed. So here's an event, and there's an event. This could be a signal event with a triangle. This could be a timer event with a clock, you know. And what happens here, as soon as the token from the process goes into the event-based gateway, the first thing is now we're waiting for one of these events here to occur. So the token will stay here in this position until one of these events occur, right? In the either or, we had instantly this decision. Here in event-based, we wait for the moment being. And like I've said, right now there are 2 possible events. First is a signal, so something is coming in, or a timer. You could imagine, for example, API calls, you know, REST APIs. So 2 systems are communicating with each other via an API. And what happens is you send a request. So we could do a process like this. So let's say in the beginning, there's an activity. That's like the API call we do. So we send something out, right? And if a lot of data is coming back, this API call can take some time, multiple seconds, maybe even longer, who knows? And we don't have the answer immediately, right? So what we do is we have an event-based gateway. So we do the API call. We go to the event-based gateway here, the token. Now either we get an answer back or we have a timeout. So let's say if no answer is coming back from the API, within 100 seconds, we do something else. We stop the whole process, So here, when the timeout occurs after 100 seconds, we do, I don't know, an activity A. But here, on the other hand, when it comes back, so there's this dotted line coming back, you do activity B or something totally different. And this is actually the key difference. This is how the event-based gateway actually works. So just to summarize it, we go into this gateway and then we have to wait until one of these events occur. With all the other gateways, like the parallel, the either-or, we immediately jump based on what the decision is here. But with the event-based, we gotta wait for at least a very short amount, but technically we could also wait for some longer. And I also recommend, if you have an event-based gateway, to always also use the timer event here, because you have to schedule a timeout, because otherwise you just don't move on anymore, right? So it makes sense to have always the timer event here after an event-based gateway. I hope this helps.